Yeah, right. Okie dokie. Did I make this? Hold on. Hey, there we go. We got. Hello. Hi. Hi, kitties. Hi, Sarah Lee Barker, Madam Senator. What's up, Jan? Jan. Hello. Hi. Katie, a surprise live? No. I put it on a couple of different things. Epic Girl 926 EG92. Hello. What's up, Laura and Olivia? Happy Monday. Hello from San Diego. Hey, what's up, Melissa? Party. Naruto runs into the room. That's right. That's right, Lydia. You got to do that Naruto run. Hold on. I got to. Hello from your Tasmanian devil. Hi. Hello. Oh, goodness gracious. Let me turn that off. So far just a Melja. Yeah, a Melja. Tasmanian devils seem like dramatic animals. They really do. They really do with a name like that. And a lot of the spinny stuff that they've been known for, that they've been depicted as having partaken of. That definitely makes them for dramatism. Finally made it to alive. Just screams like pigs. Oh yeah, right? Like pigs. I know all about that. They screech like a demon. I've never really seen, I've seen like a couple of videos of like actual Tasmanian devils, but I don't think a Segway. Oh boy. I've got such a migraine, but I didn't want to miss this. Well, I'm sorry to hear about that, Madam Senator. Ella Arredondo, hello. What's up, Danny? Hi, how are you? Ella, I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right. I know Tasmanian devils on segways, but you could do like that kind of that leaning back and forth, and then you just lean, but then kind of tilt, and they would just kind of do the spinning around. So technically, they would look a lot like the cartoons. They could look a lot like the cartoons on an actual Segway. When were Segways invented? Were they invented in like 2002 or something like that? Yeah, you have to get little Tasmanian devil-sized Segways. Yeah, can't wait to come to care. We're working on all sorts of different things to try to see when that's going to be a thing. So gotta just still kind of hang tight. 1964. What's 1964? What's up, green-eyed lady? Hi, hello, hi. How are you? I've gotten. How's JP's good? JP's good. Wasn't it that the guy who invented Segway 4x6? Wait, what? Those are a lot of words. Julie, are you watching a live stream when the Packers are going to be playing? What's wrong with you? You call yourself a Packer fan. Oh, yeah. A wild boar pinata. Yeah, right? No kidding. I need to get my... I don't know how long I'm going to be streaming for, because there is a Packer game that's going to be starting. Tune in. There we go. Starting at 7:15. Let me just go ahead and get it up. So I'm gonna have the Packer game like in my field of vision muted. So there might be some times where I'm like, oh, oh. wait. Yeah, right. Melinda's pinata list. Murder a cupcake. I don't have any cupcakes. I don't know how American footballers move in that much armor. Well, they can. I used to play football. I used to play gridiron, as they used to say, and you can move surprisingly well if the pads are constructed. If they're like better pads. Like some of the cheapo ones are kind of big and bulky and cumbersome, and they're difficult to go around. But you know, some of the the better ones. You can have a surprising amount of dexterity. And the thing with all of like those pads is that it makes you feel downright invincible. So there's a lot of big impact type stuff. So yeah, it'll kind of protect that immediate kind of impact, but your insides get jostled around pretty good. Hi, Colleen. Hi, Colleen. Long time no see. How's Cassie? Cassie's good. What kind of fancy liquid you got there? I have grapefruit flavored sparkling water. It tastes neither like grapes nor fruits. Eames, you just wouldn't understand. Ooh, all right. Will and Ruby are okay. Oh yeah, they're playing the Lions. They are. They're playing the Lions. But yeah, I wasn't. There's something on the History Channel. If you hit YouTube, a man in armor does a backflip. Cool. Like flat, unsweetened squirt. I guess you can kind of. Yeah. Sugarless, flat squirt is a great way to kind of describe it, which is just, that's delicious to me. That makes me feel just all sorts of happy. Yeah. Your uncle tests helmets. Oh boy. You poor uncle. Terrible Fresca. Munchie's good. Munchie's good. I haven't, but the thing is, you have to understand, I haven't been able to, am I still smoking? Yeah, I light up a pipe every once in a while. LaCroix is very good. And yeah, unsweetened iced tea, which if you're kind of from the north, but you live in the south, and if you go to a restaurant and you just ask for a sweet, or if you ask for an iced tea, they'll bring you sweet tea, depending on where you're at. So you always have to specify, like, could I get an unsweet tea? And I recently, actually, just this last week, I was up in Colorado, and I was at a restaurant, and they're like, well, what do you want to drink? And I was like, oh, could I get a unsweet tea? And the lady was like, just an iced tea, right? And I'm like, yeah. So yeah, I forgot. But yeah, I went up to Colorado. I went up to Boulder last week. Beautiful area. I went to go and officiate a wedding for an old coworker of mine, and it was a really nice thing, really nice ceremony. It was at like an amphitheater that, like, on the side of a mountain. It overlooked the town, and majestic and beautiful, and the weather was nice, and it was like sunny and like in the mid upper 60s, and it was really good, really nice thing. I wore a suit. It was delightful. And yeah, it was pretty cool. So went up to go and do that. I drove from Texas up to Colorado. Hi, Jamie. I think the McDonald's iced tea is something. Oh, there's more messages. Poor Heidi scoured several shops looking for unsweet iced tea when I stayed. Yeah, Amber, that is true. How many weddings have I officiated? So far, I've officiated 3. I have officiated 3. I am an ordained minister with the Universal Life Church. So, yeah, right. And I drove up there. So then, did the thing. And I basically, like, okay, I did the ceremony. Colorado's really pretty. I know it doesn't sound like a cult at all. I drove up there, did the ceremony. I'm like, okay, Colorado's really pretty and everything, but I got to get back to Texas. I got to get back to, see the cats and do some filming. So I just got, packed up and got in my car, and I drove back. And I was making good time. How's Ruby settling in at care? Ruby's settling in pretty good. She's settling in really good. She squeaks. Oh yeah. And I was driving back in like West Texas, middle of nowhere, West Texas. Uh, the kind of area where it's like 360 degrees around everywhere you look. Um, like there's no habitation, nothing. Yeah. Hi, Joe. Hello from Pizza. Hello, Joe from Pizza. There's no, yeah, but places where there's no cell service, and there's no sign of habitation except for like the road, maybe like a distant like there's even places where there's not even radio towers off in the distance. There's nothing. It's crazy. But I've always wanted to kind of drive through those areas. I've always wanted to drive through and see some of those kind of wide open spaces type things. And I was driving, and the thing is, I was starting to get a little bit sleepy. And sometimes when I sleep, I have to turn off whatever I'm listening to, whatever podcast I'm listening to. Sometimes, if like certain music can get you kind of sleepy, and then I turn everything off. I just start singing, because it'll help to kind of gives me something to do, oxygenates my bloodstream. It actually kind of perks me up a little bit. So driving along and just kind of like, and it was at night. It was like 2:30 in the morning, and there was a wild hog crossing the road, and it was in an area where you could tell that they maybe like recently like redid the road. They like recently like asphalted it, like over the last year. So it was like still like pretty dark gray, like almost kind of that black kind of color. And that pig, man, that thing was like the same color as that stinking road. Because I mean, by the time I saw pig, it was like shit. And I was able to kind of swerve a little bit, but clipped the pig. It was about 250 pound pig. It was big. And yeah, I was going about 70, 75 miles an hour, something like that. And immediately, like I could hear just because I'm like, and it's like, oh, like shit, I'll get my stuff, and then they'll go to the side of the road, and I can just feel the, and I know right away it's just like oh, we're effed. This car is, oh no, oh nerds, oh no. I remember like I told that I told some of the story in the Discord. People were like, that must have been so scary, and it's like for a moment, yeah, but once I knew the car wasn't gonna flip, which that takes, I mean, like 3/4 of a second to realize, like, okay, the car's not gonna be flipping. After that 3/4 of a second of just like of that initial kind of thing, it's more just like, F. No. I'm not in the good spot for this to be happening. And yeah, make sure you're alive first and then cry. Yeah, no, there's like that little bit of just kind of like, ooh, okay, all right, assess, and then just like, wow, all right, and then I'd already been on the road. Oh, cripes. Because I started my trip back from Colorado, I don't know, about like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. But the traffic in Colorado, heading back south, was terrible. Was really, really bad. Didn't get out of the state for the longest time. So I hit that pig at like 2:30 in the morning. So I'd already been on the road for a long time. And I get out of my car, and I look, and the front driver's side is all smashed up, all crunched in, caved in, and parts of the wheel well are wrapped around like like wrapping into like the tire area, and it's just like that. Oh, that's not good. And I look at the phone, and I was like, I have almost, like, no, yeah, pig was dead. Pig very dead. Is this my own car? No, it was my own car. It was my own car. It wasn't a rental. So I'm looking. Luckily, I have enough like map still, even though like because like GPS kind of, but it's like it's a lot of times GPS, your Google Maps and stuff like that. It runs on a combination of like it's GPS, yes, but then it also takes internet to like kind of like update you on like where certain things are and like certain waypoints and etc. And but luckily I still had like enough kind of like maps saved to where I could kind of like zoom and scroll. I'm like, where the hell am I? And there was like a small town 30 miles that way, and then there was another small town 10 miles back from where I came. And I'm like, well, I gotta head back to that town because hopefully they got some cell phone signal, And like, please, can I have some cell signal, please? Oh, wait, Packers are playing. Oh my gosh, the Lions, they made a catch. No, not good. Get him, tackle him. All right. People were asking, like, did you take the pig? And it's just like, I'm in the middle of nowhere. Like, this is the last thing I'm thinking. Besides, the cats don't like pigs. I'm not gonna, what am I gonna do? Like, take a 250-pound dead pig and like what? Just tie it to my hood? Put it in my trunk? No. Like, my car's messed up enough. That pig did enough damage. Good. Why do the cats don't like pigs? Because the cats are spoiled. Yeah, the cats are spoiled. So, I decided to drive back, because it's like, well, I can't really, I could kind of, like, I had enough cell signal, like crazy enough to like give Heidi a call, and it was like spotty in and out, and I'm just like, hit a pig, and I don't know. Luckily, that part like went through, because if it was just like, well, if this delivery was all blocked up because the bad cell signal, I'd be like, "Hi, pig," and she'd be like, "What the hell?" But no, I was like, "Yeah, I hit a pig," and she's like, "Oh, hon, oh no." I'm like, "Yeah, I gotta figure out." I got to figure out a situation. And she's like, do you need me to come get you? Which, that's, I love her for that. And that was like her immediate reaction. Like, are you, like, are you okay? Do you need me to come get you? And I'm like, no. I'll figure it out. I'm going to figure out whatever it is. It would have been about like but it would have been maybe like a 4-hour drive for her one way. And so, but that was her immediate kind of thing. So I was like, oh, that's very sweet. So the town that I had just passed through was 10 miles behind me, and my stuff was all messed up. So I and then I get to the side of the other side of the road. I flip on the hazards, and I'm just driving at like 5-10 miles an hour in the middle of the night, again like 2:30, 3 in the morning, and there was a couple of semis just like two. There was two. They didn't stop. I'm like, yeah, thanks. And I drove back to that town. It took like 5-10 miles an hour, and oh, the Lions got a touchdown. That sucks. The Lions got a touchdown. No, not fun. And it took me about 45 minutes. It took, yeah. Shush, Colleen. I don't need that. Colleen, I don't need that right now. Okay, come on, Pat. Yeah, that's right, Karina. Packers, get it together. Don't worry, Derek. It's the Lions. They'll blow it. That is true, Lydia. You make a solid point. I don't know. It's kind of bizarro year right now. So yeah, they might. Who knows? The Lions might be number one in the division. You never know. Listen, I'm your elder. Be nice. Oh my gosh. Yeah. You ain't get no arguments from me. About being an elder. That is. But. I know the Chucks are on. Yeah. How long until he hurts himself? I'm not going to hurt myself, Katie. I'm not going to hate. I'm not gonna hurt. I'm not gonna hurt, and I'm not gonna hate, and I'm not gonna be affected by your hate. Um, but yeah, it took me about 45 minutes to drive back to that town, about 10 miles away, and I got back to that town about like 3:30 in the morning, um, and I found a just a little rinky-dink convenience store. It was a town of like 1,000 people. And I found this little rinky-dink convenience store, and I parked my car, and I called my insurance. I'm like, yeah, well, pig hit a pig, and the lady was really nice, and she's like, okay, well, that's we're gonna label that as a no fault kind of thing. It's the pig's fault, and I'm like, damn right, it's the pig's fault. What was that pig doing out there? And I and she's like, well, we're gonna try to dispatch a tow truck to you, but it might take a little bit of time. And in the meantime, I'm just walking around this area. I'm trying to find like a thick stick, piece of steel rebar, some sort of pipe of anything, so I could just like bend the metal off of my wheel. Because I'm seriously contemplating this. Like, I don't know, maybe I can make it. maybe, because I don't want to be here. Um, and there was this whole, oh my gosh, all of this the whole rigmarole with trying to get a tow truck dispatched, and then the national dispatch center for tow trucks, or like towtrucks.com or something like that. They were basically like, well, we got a notification that you need a tow, but it says here on the map, like you're here and you're trying to go here, and that's outside of our normal area of our maximum distance allowed, so we have to call your insurance company to get permission. And I'm like, the insurance company called you and told you that this is where I was, that this is where I needed to be. And they're like, oh yeah, but we still need to get, and I'm like, do you mind if I just call the insurance people? Do you mind if I just do that? And they're like, oh yeah, that's fine. And here's a callback number. So I have to, because they said like, well, we called the insurance, but we were on hold for 5 minutes. So we hung up. I'm like, you did what? I'm like, no. You stay on the phone, stay on the line with them. So I'm like, I'll call them. Give me your number. I will call them and have them call you. So I did that. And the insurance person was like, oh my gosh, this is like, we'll get right on this. This is really terrible. We'll fix this for you. Like my name, and this is not the guy's name, but the guy's like, my name's Chet, and I'm going to take care of you. I'm like, thanks, Chet. And I'm like, so basically, I'm like, all right, I'm going to wait. I'm going to just like, put my seat back, and I'm going to fall asleep. I'm going to wait for whoever. Either someone's going to give me a call, or like some big burly tow truck guy is going to like tuk, 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 on my window, be like, you need a lift? Yeah. Oh, Melissa, you think Chet's the man? Chet wasn't the man, because he's like, I got you. But Chet didn't have me, because it still took me. I ended up waking up because like my car started to like kind of warm up, because the morning sun started to heat my car up. And I was just kind of like, I was like, I feel kind of crummy. And I look at the clock, and it's 7:30 in the morning. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, there's still no tow truck. And I call. And I was like in like just awake mode, where I should have given myself like 5 minutes. I should have given myself like 5 minutes to like kind of get my bearings, but I didn't. I just like called the number right away. And then they're like, hi, how can we help you? And I'm like, there was a call with my insurance. There was a tow truck. I'm in a town. It was a pig, and I need a truck. And the guy said he was going to help, and then they didn't. And where can you help? Can you help? And she's like, I think I know what you're asking for. And I'm like, please help. So, they finally did. They finally called. They got, this is the stupidest thing. They called, and it was for a service station and a tire shop. It was literally right across the street from like where my car was parked, was where the tow truck came from. And it was on a Saturday morning. So I'm, sure the guy's not, he's on call. So he comes around and he shows up, and and he tells me like, please help, I has the dumb. That's right. That's right. So guy shows up and he's like, all right, well, it says that you're supposed to go over here, but the insurance company, they want you to drop it off at this collision center, but the collision center, yeah, yay, Devontae Adams, yay, go, go. Okay, there we go. All right. But the collision place that it was supposed to get dropped to, it was closed because it was the weekend. So the tow truck guy was like, well, I can't take it all the way to where you're trying to get it to. Um, I can only take it to this storage place in town, and it's going to have to be in the storage place. And then we're going to have to wait for the insurance to come and take a look at it. And then we'll have to go through a whole nother process. And then you got to, we'll get it, over the course of next week. And I'm like, that's not going to happen. Can't, no. So then I asked the guy, hold on, Aaron Rodgers is making, he's running out of bounds. So then I asked the tow truck guy, I'm like, all right, can you help me bend the metal off my tire so that it's just not scraping and pushing all the stuff down onto the wheel well? And he's like, yeah, I got a cheater bar. We can go and see what we can do. And I'm like, please. So he goes and he grabs this thing which is a tool that's designed specifically for that type of stuff, bending crumpled pieces of metal. And I remember I was sitting there trying, and I'm doing, and it's all jagged, and I'm just like, okay, the last thing that you need to do is sit there and just like slice through, like the other side of your knuckles, while this whole thing is going on. So I was only able to give it, but it wasn't moving. But he got it bent back, so at least that stuff, and I was able to kind of shimmy and push some different things, and all of like the fiberglass bumper stuff that was kind of hanging off. And I luckily had a roll of duct tape. Yeah, don't slice your tendons. I luckily had a roll of duct tape, so I taped all the hanging bumper and everything just up, and just kind of squeezed it together and pushed it and everything, and then I'm like, all right, I think that'll work. And it was also daylight too, and I looked, yeah, and I was looking underneath, and I'm like, oh, there seems to be some other stuff that's kind of cracked up, but we're gonna make a go of it. So I was able to kind of get on my way, and I was able to get onto the road, and I was going, maybe 40, 45 miles without things feeling weird. 40, 45 miles per hour. I still had over 100 miles to go. I still had 100 miles to get back to, because I was like trying to get back to my apartment, because that was the whole thing. That was the whole thing too. Oh my gosh. I was at the wedding, and I was going to go to my apartment to drop stuff off and pick some stuff up and then go to care. That was my plan. That was my original plan. And I remember telling Heidi my plan. She's like, why don't you just come to care? Like, what are you doing? Yeah, it is a Mortal Kombat shirt. So Heidi was just like, "Why? I don't understand." Like, and I was like, "What do you need?" And I'm like, "Well, I want to get this." And then she's like, "That's dumb. Why don't you just come back home? You're adding like an extra 2 hours or something like that onto your trip." And I'm just like, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. And like, I know that like later on, as we were talking, and I was basically saying just like, yeah, like I hit the pig, and this has been like a really difficult kind of, situation. It's just like, well, if you would have just come to care, if you would have just come home. Where was Sarah? Sarah's not here. Sarah's over at the facility. Sarah's actually hanging out with the interns right now. Sarah's living in the vet center right now with the interns. So really happy. Oh, that's it's Scorpion, and then it's Raiden, and then it's Goro, and then it's Sub-Zero. So yeah, very cool. And so I'm driving. Yeah, Sarah is partying. Sarah's a very nice kitty. So I was driving, back to my apartment. So I'm just trying to limp back to my apartment. And as I'm going along, I'm sitting there thinking like, this has been a hell of a trip so far. I need some comfort food. And you know what? I'm going to go through some small towns. I'm going to stop at like the next kind of greasy spoon diner that I find, because I want to get some steak and eggs because I deserve it. It's been a very long ordeal. Again, I started my trip 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday, and by this time it was like 10:30 in the morning on Saturday. And I had been on the road the entire time, like, you know, sleeping in a parking lot for a little bit of it. So I found this little town, and I ended up stopping there, got some breakfast. Horrible service. It was terrible. It was terrible. Hold on, the Packers are on the 5. Packers are on the 5. Oh, goodness gracious. Goodness me. Hold on. We're going to get to the eggs here in just a little bit. Oh, punching it up the middle. Okay, they stopped. Don't stop. The car may not move. No, Auntie M, we're good. Me, after any minor inconvenience, I deserve a treat for all this. That's right. I did. I deserved a treat. So I stopped, and when I ate, once I ate all my food, I'm like, all right, I'm ready to get back on the road. And I go to pay, and they're like, oh, we're sorry, but the credit card machine's down. I just called. So it might take like an hour or something like that to get back up. And I didn't have cash. Hold on. Go, Pack, go. Go, Pack, go. Go, Pack, go. Touchdown. Jones took it in. That was great. Fantastic. Eat it clean. So yeah. Anyway, the lady was just like, well, yeah, goal. The lady was like, well, the credit card machine's down, and I didn't have cash. I spent all my cash, because who carries cash anymore? Who carries cash? So I asked the lady, I'm like, all right, where's the nearest ATM? And like, I promise you, I'm not gonna go ahead and just like duck out on the check. I'll come back and I'll pay. And she's like, oh, well, there's the Stop and Shop on the other side of town. You got to go over there and do all this stuff. And I'm like, all right, I'll go over to the Stop and Shop, you know. So I get in my car, and, you know, it still is like drivable. And I'm starting to go up the road into this little town. And I look ahead up on the road, and I see lights. I see like flashing red lights. Like emergency vehicles, like way up. And I'm like, oh gosh, there must be something going on up over there. There must be something happening. And immediately I thought to myself, like, well, you know, like, I hope that whoever has experienced what's happening up there is okay. But this also goes to show me, and this is like a good lesson for me, that, you know, like, someone's always got it worse. You're having a bad time. You're having a bad, you know, go at things, but someone's always got it worse. So just always remember to kind of keep that in perspective. And I'm going up the road, and I'm like, okay, well, there's like a fire truck, and I'm like, oh, there's you know, more emergency vehicles. It's like multiple fire trucks and the ambulance. But then I'm like, wait a minute, there's like other trucks, and they're pulling trailers, and there's like colorful stuff on the trailers, and there's people on the trailers. And then I'm looking on the sides of the road, and there's people on lawn chairs on the side of the road. And there's people throwing candy from the trailers, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm following a parade right now. This is a damn parade. It was a homecoming parade. It was a homecoming parade for this small town. And I'm sitting there, and I've got my duct tape car that's like still making weird noises. And I'm like driving around, and people are like, so then, and I'm like, where's this place? And there was like this little bank thing, this little bank turnaround, and like they have an ATM that was installed like in 1987, because this thing is like dude, enter your PIN, dude. We didn't catch that. Cancel. I'm like, don't cancel the transaction. And while I'm doing it, I could hear like on the loudspeaker, like, well, there's the float for the 11th grade class. There's the juniors, and they look really great. Okay, well now here's the Rotary Club. Oh, the ladies of the Rotary Club. Oh, that's wonderful that they're doing. And I'm just like, this is what is happening to me right now. So yeah, get the cash. I go back. I pay. I pay for my bill, and as I'm pulling out of the parking lot of that diner for the second time, I just I hear like a big clunk like on my driver's side, and I'm like, oh, what now? What now? But it was basically it was the control arm that I had looked underneath already, and I'd be like, I don't know, that seems like that's something's not looking right there. That seems like that thing's about ready to go. I mistook it immediately. I mistook it at first for like structural kind of frame damage, because it's a really like control arms are a really thick piece of metal that connect to the wheel that help to control the steering. Yeah, so what ended up happening, so like up until that point, even though like my stuff was all crunched up, I had like relatively good control, and my car's steering ended up going from like regular car steering to like bumper car steering, where it's just like all like floaty, and I'm like, I hope I don't have to make any sudden movements. So I still have 100 miles to go. Still at this point, if you gave up on the car, the pig would. I know, that's exactly it. The pig would have won. The pig would have won. I was so tired and I was delirious, and I remember calling Heidi and I was laughing, and I'm like, "This is a goddamn parade! I'm following a parade right now." And she's like, "You need a nap, honey." And I'm like, "We're in it now. We're in it. We're gonna make this. We're gonna get this home." So. I end up having to drive back. Luckily, it was like still just like, for the most part, like country roads, like the rest of the way. And I'm driving back at about like 45 miles an hour, floating around. Like, anytime like I see a car coming up behind me, I just like click on my hazards and I kind of float over to the side, and I'm like, go around. Oh my God. Like, yeah, click it back on. I make it back. I make it back to my apartment. It was 1:30 in the afternoon. Yeah, country roads take me home. That was the other thing. I remember when I went to go pack. It's funny, country roads. When I went to go pack back to pay. When I went to go back to pay at the diner, there was like one of the guys. He was either like he looked like maybe like a manager, but he was like bussing tables and everything. And I came back to pay for the thing, and he's like, "Yeah, credit card machine's down. Like you had to go get cash." Well, country living, and I'm just like, country effing living is right. So I ended up getting back to my apartment at 1:30 in the afternoon. Yeah, it was 1:30 in the afternoon. I stopped at like a little. I had to stop. I went and stopped because that was the other thing. I didn't have any food in my apartment, because I was sitting there thinking like, okay, I was gonna grab my stuff. I was gonna get the things and do all the stuff, and I was gonna like head back. So I was gonna, be home. So I did. I had to stop at like this kind of little, a little grocery mart kind of thing close to my place. I wasn't gonna try to like, go across town and go to like the nice, place. So I ended up just getting like cans of soup and crackers and stuff like that. So like one of my comforts, yeah, was generic sparkling water and cold. Oh, thank you so much. I will sassafras. Thank you very much for that. I'll tell Cassie. I literally, Melissa, you're right. I was eating cold Progresso clam chowder out of the can. He's like, I earned this. This is my comfort. This is my solace. Yeah. So I wasn't I wasn't get some cookies next. No cookies. No, I actually like I like clam chowder. Progresso clam chowder. It's a weird kind of guilty pleasure. The I wasn't able. Yeah, no, I was not able to make it home. Not able to make it home for the weekend. Was not able to make it home. So no webcasts, no fancy casts, no X-File lives. Yeah, none of that. That's why I wanted to do, like, let me just go ahead and do a live stream quick. Let me do a live stream to kind of let people know, like what happened, and like, why are we getting updates on the cats? Where's the webcasts? Yeah, taking the, maybe give me an opportunity to kind of look at some of the other different kind of, things. I'm not saying there's going to be like no videos, like who knows, I might be able to kind of get on and do some more of these types of things. Put a fake main on the house. I don't even have, Sarah's not even here. Sarah's not, did all this happen today? No, it happened a few days ago. So yeah, it was, I know. Don't angrily message Melissa tomorrow, like, where are the casts? Even though people probably still will, because they're not going to get the news. Yeah, that's what happened. So I'm not going to be able. Yeah, I'm not. It stinks because I wasn't able to go home. And like Heidi was saying, like, yeah, she had meal prepped a bunch of stuff. She's like, I made all of this, and I made these things, and I put stuff of this on the thing, and I did this thing for the oven. So all this food's waiting. All this food's going to be waiting for you, hon. And then Pig happens, and she's like, well, I have all this food. The car might be crazy enough. It actually might be fixable. I know, Colleen. It's like, you just didn't want to make the guess. This is an intricate ploy, like you and the pig are in cahoots. Yeah, right. Wasn't worried, just thought you were taking personal days to help work. No, that's my story. Why did Serafina outlive Baggy? I don't know. Serafina's going to outlive us all. Serafina's like the Queen of England. She's just going to keep on just going, doing her thing. But that's what happened. So yeah. Of course. Yeah, Madam Caboose. Of course, no problem. Sarah and Baggy are both. Yeah, they were both super old. Moral of the story: listen to your wife. What are you talking about? Well, this is the other thing, Amber. I was even, because I talked about that I was starting to get sleepy. See, I was starting to get sleepy. So maybe if I would have just kept on going home to care, by that time I would have been getting sleepy, but there would have been no pigs on the other section of road, the other alternate route. But maybe there was some divine intervention at play that they're like, no, go this way, go to the apartment. And at this very critical moment, when you were starting to get kind of sleepy and you were trying to push through, probably not do the smartest thing, the most responsible kind of thing, but you were trying to push through at that moment. And then there's some, a divine hand, put the pig there, as a sacrifice, for me to hit. And then, it actually caused me, to have to kind of slow down and kind of figure that thing out. And like I didn't get no hurt. I didn't get hurt, nothing, I mean, Pig got killed, but like I was able to make it. I was able to make it home. So who knows? Maybe some cosmic force, like actually saved my life. Who knows, right? Who knows? Lydia says, one time we drove home from Mackinac Island in the middle of the night, trading off every 20 minutes to stave off sleep. Oh yeah. When you're long hauling it, like that can be tough. That can be really tough. And like, because I had been, so like on Thursday, I drove about 11 and a half, 12 hours to get to Colorado, and then the next day, I drove back, and I had already made 10 hours of the trip. And I'm like, all right, I just got a little bit more to go before the Pigcident. So that in a weird way, that was like one of the most upsetting parts of the whole thing, because I'm like, oh, I was so close to like doing the, yes, they just got a sack. Yeah, the Pigcident. So that was actually one of the more upsetting kind of things because I was looking forward to like having that just like, yeah, drove all the way up, drove all the way back, boom. And I wasn't able to have the boom. They took my boom away. They took my boom. Had the wheel fall off of a rental home. No, golly. Wow. Oh, yeah, like Ron White said, someone skipped lug nut day at Tire College. Yeah, I think I got the boom in a different way. Yeah, right. I know. But people, I know there were some people that were like, "Oh my God, it must have been so scary." But like at that point, I'd already been in like so many weird road incidents. Like I mean, there's the jukebox hero time. Like swerving to hit a dog, flying into almost flipping my car, but going into the ditch, having to get towed out there. There was one time I almost ran into one of those like green signs because I missed an exit and I tried to overcorrect and I thought I was going to die at that point. Um, bunch of different times. I mean, like like getting almost hit by cars or like semis. Like you could tell, like a truck driver's like floating into your stuff, and then like having to like, "Ah!" and then having to like make some like weird maneuvers to like get out of the way, kind of stuff. So it's like you go through enough of those types of things, and it helps you kind of identify, like, well, this sucks, but I'm not gonna die, so it doesn't have to be a scary thing. It just has to be an annoying thing. Yeah. The EPB. Don't forget about them. Yeah. Yeah, that was fine that that's the other thing. Panic kind of hits a little bit like after things kind of settle down. Yeah. That is true. Yeah, no. Where it's just like it was after everything and then it's like I'm outside of the car, I'm outside of the vehicle. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, jeepers crepes," I'm just sitting there like and it's pitch black everywhere. You can't even see I can't even see like farm lights or radio lights off in the distance kind of thing. And I'm with my cell phone and I'm just like looking at the car and I'm like, "Oh Jesus Christ, I want to just like light up a smoke at the time, something like that." But no, all's well that ends well. Got a good story out of it, I guess. So, hey, what are you gonna do? But yeah, cars at the shop. And cherry on top, fun little thing with the used car shortage that's currently happening right now. I was unable to get a rental car until tomorrow afternoon. So I've been bumming rides from coworkers like, can I get a ride to work, please? There was a pig. I know, lucky the UFOs didn't get me. Yeah. I know that red Colleen that parade. The story is like is a decent story. The story is a decent story just in and of itself, but the parade just added that just extra little chef's kiss of just weird. And I was in such like a weird like a feverish like just complete exhausted state because I had been just like on the road and awake for so long and I just like what is this? Um, yeah, no. That was actually funny enough. Like I brought a toolkit. I brought my toolkit that had my duct tape and everything with me, because I had recently hit a raccoon. I recently hit a raccoon, like the week prior, and it slightly messed up my bumper a little bit. Slightly messed it. Yeah, I know the rackins. Slightly messed up my bumper and actually jostled. Like how car bumpers have like the little sonar radar kind of things, that kind of tell you like, oh, you're getting a little bit too close to that. You're getting a little bit too close to a parked car over there, like doot 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 doot. But it literally it kept on just like anytime I was in a parking lot, it was just like you're about to hit a car, and I'm just like I'm not about to hit a car. So I ended up having to like reach up into the thing and just like yank the thing out. I'm like, just you're done. You're time out for you. So that was the other thing too. I don't know, maybe if I had that. So I don't know. Yeah, it was a to do. It was a to do. So yeah, no videos this week. No video. Well, no traditional. It's not going to say that there's not going to be videos, but like not the standards, not the standard webcasts. Normal kitty updates. They're gonna have to wait. We're gonna have to wait a little bit. Yeah. So that's all I got. That's all I got. Thank you for listening to my Krahn talk. You have a chance for first comment. Yes, Jan, you still have a chance for first comment. Still have a chance for first comment, depending on whether or not I get other videos up. Maybe I could finish the Wizard Squeak sequel from 2017. Toonses. What the heck is Toonses? I hope that's not like a really like dirty thing. More Cassie, please. Well, Cassie, I can't because bounced off of his helmet. That was pass interference. What's that all about? All right. I know Cassie's still technically with the. No, I don't remember the Toonses driving cat. No, I don't. I know that was like before like a lot of people's time. I'm not to sit there and say, okay, yeah, I'm sure that it was on while I was like watching like relevant things, but I didn't, just because it happened when I was watching stuff didn't mean I was watching that stuff. Makes sense. I did. I interfered with the pig crossing the road. Yeah. Now we will never know. Who knows? Maybe that pig was going to go, commit atrocities. Maybe the pig was going to, commit some other form of insurance fraud. And I stopped. I stopped it from happening. So, you're welcome. But thanks for taking the time to listen to thanks for taking the time to allow me to regale you with the pig was going to convince the children to try the marijuana. We can't have that. We can't have that. So thanks for, hold on. Roger's dropping back to pass, and Rogers just got sacked. Oh boy, it's going to be a long night. So thanks for taking the time to listen, and I will talk at you folks later. All right. Bye-bye. Yes, I want to stop streaming.